Yeah,
I'll start
okay.
rolling now. I'm sorry,
Okay.
audience. You just missed me super harsh browning the music industry once again. Oop,
All right,
accidentally nudged
so
my pop filter.
how about you get the Patreon bumper out of the way real quick?
Yeah, before we get started for real, let me just remind everybody real quick that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Ahago Comics and Drago66. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early, you could listen to this episode live, and lots of other good things, and it would really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Thank you. So where we were before we started all this is, I can't remember exactly why, but I wanted to go back to good old 2011, listen to some party rock anthem by LMFAO. And I noticed on the view counter that it had 1.5 billion views. Now, that's a number that's kind of astronomical to me. And then Omega brings it up, oh, the joys of meme mimic. What is Gangnam Style up at? So I checked, and that's at 3.1 billion views. Now, guys, as I said, I'm not gonna, try to judge judge our audience or age our audience, but if you haven't seen those videos, go watch them yourselves and just, kind of try to imagine the lives that we were living in 2011 and 12 when this shit was everywhere.
When it was the big thing. I remember it was like, Gangnam Style was a big deal back in the day. It was like, oh my god, this video's hit like, was it like, I think it was like 8 million in the first week.
Yeah, it was like stupid huge, and like honestly, I love the video. I think it's funny and hell, and it's catchy too. It's like same with all these other things, so I can understand why they became such big things, but like to come back to this like several years later, it's just mind-blowing to see like it's got so much popularity. Like it has more views than some like major nations have people.
Well, so also you should consider lots of populations are actually pretty small. I mean, the biggest, but if you put it in big, that's bigger than China and India put together. Both those countries are about 1 billion people. It's way bigger than the U.S., which last census I checked was, 320 million, I want to say. Also, once again, I want to apologize, everybody. My microphone's doing that thing where there's some kind of ghost possessing my microphone levels, and it keeps making me louder for some reason that I do not understand.
And
so,
from there we just started thinking of like revenue.
Yeah.
Where revenues, like even half those people bought that single song for 99 cents on iTunes. That's still that's almost 1.6 million bucks right there.
$1 billion. Not million, billion.
Billion,
We're talking about bees.
The bees.
That's
that astronomical number
money.
That's just... Oh. It's just crazy to think. Like, these videos don't have any, like, ads, so I don't know if they're actually generating any revenue for the artists or recording studios. Then Omega has to come in and it's all like, yeah, making all this potential money, and they still gotta harsh on our buzz. And at that point, I literally said, are we recording yet?
I'm like, no. We should, though.
Yep. So guess what, guys? That's what's up with us today.
Yeah. What's also up is literally less than, like, I want to say 15, maybe less than 10 minutes ago, I watched the first episode of Banana Fish. Finished it.
How you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's great. That's good. That's that good shit.
Well, I can't say I told you, but I tried to shove it down your throat.
You tried to point me in the direction, and I led myself there. But no, it really was. A lot of the stuff you said after you'd already talked me into watching it, you talked about how last week, like, a lot of the stuff, like the atmospheric feel and so on. Yeah, no, it's real good. It's real good. Everybody should check it out. It's
yeah, like like as I said, I just finished watching episode 5 and 6 myself. So I'm on fresh on that banana fish high.
But no, like
I was actually looking at the what?
Sound design's great. The music is great.
Yeah.
God bless whoever's doing the backgrounds in this. A lot of them look hand drawn too, like matte paintings. Like there's a lot of love put into this show just in the first episode, and it's got one of those classic in media res type feels, you know.
I was actually looking at this. The studio behind Banana Fish is Mappa Studio, and they've actually have some, like, I wouldn't say well-known titles, but they definitely have some specific things in their wheelhouse. Like, they did all the Garo, Omega, do you know Garo at all?
Not familiar with it, but I remember the name seems familiar.
It's basically like usually a fan. Well,
Garo. I see it there.
It's one where
first
like
of all, I should say what jumps out to me, which is I never super finished it because unfortunately I think their plot was a little bogged down by being what it was. But I watched the Rage of Bahamut, the Genesis, the first anime, which was just holy fucking shit. Like the visuals were phenomenal.
Guess what? They're the same people.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the list right now. Like, yeah. So hey, if you've ever heard of Rage of Bahamut Genesis or seen GIFs or webms online, which you probably have if you're into anime, because holy shit, that show was like super well produced. The phone game people basically gave MAPPA like whatever money you need, and they were like, "Are you sure about that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And they were like, "Okay, we're gonna make something real pretty."
And
they also
said,
did
like
animation. So basically, they've done a lot of like high quality anime.
Most of it seems to be adaptations, but you know what? More power to you.
I mean, hey, if you can do a beautiful adaptation, that's great.
Yeah, like they did Yuri on Ice. So them doing a Shonen Ai story was not unheard of. It's like MAPPA Studios. Like I will say, is something that really hasn't hit on my radar. But like, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to seeing what they do from here on out, because I said I liked Yuri on Ice, phenomenal animation and cinematography in there. Story little lackluster, but guess what? It's about a semi homoerotic relationship between two figure skaters. I mean, meh. I haven't seen Rage of Bahamut Virgin Soul.
Yeah, I didn't watch the sequel either.
Yeah, I'm like I want to watch it. I have to be like, it's one of those things where I need to be in a mood where I want to sit down for a long ass fucking time and watch something. I'm very used to jumping around, because like I'm gonna like take this into a whole nother topic on anime. Is some people feel better about sitting down and watching anime all at once, and some are all right with just getting their fix week to week. For me, it's definitely depends on the anime.
Yeah, I was about to say,
like right now,
that's the thing that about TV. That's just some TV. You wait till you got a season on Netflix and you feel bad about your life. We're gonna talk about that later. That was a little bit of what's up with me this week. And you queue it up and you start and you don't stop for like 5 hours and you're like, where the fuck did the time go?
Yep.
Other shows,
and it's definitely
oh my god, it's that time of the week. It's the time for more Boku no Hero, which is both great in retrospect and just week to week. That is a very tightly produced show.
Well, as I said, it's also following I don't want to say classic shonen formula, but they're pretty close to the standard shonen formula, where they usually don't leave you hanging too hard, but just enough.
Well, yeah, Boku no Hero, or My Hero Academia, is an adaptation of it's weekly, right? It's a weekly shonen manga. So you get your tropes, because yes, I have read a lot of weekly shonen mangas as well as actually watched their animes. There's definitely a style and a beat to I have 17 pages every week or whatever, sometimes 16, sometimes 18. It depends on if there's a 2-page spread in there.
Oh yeah, speaking of
but yeah, no, there's a formula in how people build those.
Yeah.
And if I've read Western comics, I'm sure there'd be a formula to those, but I don't really. I'm sorry. There's too much.
Speaking of comics, I want to talk about something here in a minute, but just an announcement for everyone. There is going to be a My Hero Academia movie.
That's right.
Coming out in Japan. Date is currently, I don't know, because I've only seen trailers for it, but it looks pretty cool. It looks like pretty well produced. The only thing is, I always feel a little bit... I always feel a little bit weird about movies in my shonens, because they're always non-canon,
right?
Authors.
Well, almost always. There are a couple of Naruto movies, the last couple, which were canon, but that's because Naruto ended and the author wasn't doing anything. So we're like, hey, can you help us write this movie script for something that's at least to the anime is canon?
Yeah. But like major shows, well, I take it back. Detective Conan has some canon movies. But Detective
Actually, by the
Conan
way,
is...
that reminds me. I have a funny story about Detective Conan that I learned the other day, because I was
Oh.
just on a TV Tropes walk about some stuff and read something about, like, screwed by the lawyers, and, like, do you know why it's called Case Closed in the U.S.?
Actually, no, I don't.
Because Conan the Barbarian.
Are you serious?
Yeah. There was a concern whether or not they would be able to, or possibly there was a legal protest about the use of the name Conan in the U.S.
Huh.
So they were like, okay, we'll change it to Case Closed. That's why they're different.
Oh my god.
There are a couple of things like that come up. Licensing and international copyright law is weird a lot of the time.
Yeah, it is. That's on. Yeah, but there are several of the, like, Detective Conan is really fucking big. Like, before Your Name came out in theaters, like, I think like the top grossing animated film was a Detective Conan movie. And they have like 16, 17 movies out for Detective Conan now. They have like with like collabs and stuff. But anyway, I digress. Anime movies always make me feel a little hinky because they're taking you like outside of the story into something that may not be. And so all that cool stuff you may see in a movie, not going to happen in the main series. Like specifically in the My Hero Academia movie, I said not a lot's been revealed, but apparently Deku and the gang go to like this facility where they meet a quirkless girl who like invented this badass arm looking thing that Deku's wearing. And I'm all like, as badass as this thing is gonna be, it's not gonna show up in the main story. It's just gonna exist in this one movie.
Or it's gonna be too powerful to use or something dumb like that. But
Yeah,
no, I mean, you're talking about that. You made me instantly flashback to I think there were 4 Inuyasha movies, all of which had to have a big climactic thing where he does some new sword thing, which never came up again. There was I think the fourth one was the adamant backlash wave, because you combine the 2 sword techniques. I don't think that showed up in the show or the manga ever. It was cool, though.
It's like it's always cool. Like they always go out with a big bang. They do that in Naruto. They did that in Bleach. I haven't seen any One Piece movies. I don't even know if any exist. Like honestly, sorry guys, One Piece is not my thing.
There are probably loads of fucking One Piece movies. I know there are definitely some.
Yeah,
but we digress. But yeah, no, they always come up with a new attack. I remember like the first Naruto movie. They got the thing and then the rainbows. It was the shining snow light made the Rasengan or something.
The rainbow Rasengan. Yeah. That was.
That's also the other weird thing about movies is they're at whatever point in the continuity that they are when they're made, but that can be very hard to pinpoint when that should quote unquote happen in the main story, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so we know based on the Bleach movie or the Naruto movie. Okay, so the Bleach has to take place after Soul Society because Ichigo has Bankai and he's friends with the Shinigami now, but it's not after Hekomundo or the Ironclad arcs because none of that happened yet. And then the second movie, which by the way, the second movie had really good, at least orchestration to the soundtrack. That's at least post the Ironclad arc because Ichigo's visored and he does his mask thing at the climax. Stuff like that. And it's just, God,
oh man, talk about crazy.
So confusing.
Oh, talk about crazy ass power ups. I remember in like I think it was the third Bleach movie, Ichigo like they journey into the underworld and like Ichigo actually like fuses with like a whole bunch of fucking hollows and he gets like this half hollow form and you're like, what the fuck? And you think it's the baddest thing ever until you get into I can't even think of the arc. Just when they're in Hekomundo and he goes fucking I don't even know what to call that form. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. As much as I like the Hekomundo arc, there were a lot of weird power-ups at the end where just apart from the final Getsuga Tensho, there was so much parts where Ichigo's just like, fuck you, I'm gonna get stronger now.
Well, I like that they usually preface him by him being like nearly killed and half unconscious. No,
once again, Ichigo got his ass kicked, and so the Hollow was like, "Fuck you, you can't die yet."
My turn, bitches.
I'm gonna kick this guy's ass. And why did Ukiyo have 2 resurrections? We still don't know.
Oh my god,
he was really fucking rad in both.
It was.
We've talked about this before. Kubo's character designs are amazing. Like, I don't know what he's doing with his life now, but if he just wants to design characters and outfits, that's fine. He had a little bit of the same face and a little bit of the same body type, but still, like, fucking A. Like he
Actually,
he had, but speaking sort of reading and a little bit about superheroes, you did kind of turn me on to something else I've been doing this week, which is I'm doing lots of reading. Not any of the books I set out to read. Once again, TV tropes, random walk, found a book series, tried it out. So the first book in this series is Don't Tell My Parents I'm a Supervillain.
That sounds great already.
All right, yeah, exactly. That's why I thought, oh, this sounds amazing. So, Lucky, let me pitch this book series to you. This will be our new segment for me. So it wasn't said anywhere explicit, but I'm pretty sure this is a YA series because all the kids are like teenagers. They start in middle school. But it's not like baby talk reading. You know what I mean? Like you can tell the difference between the quote unquote young adult region, which is basically anybody who has hit puberty and up, all the way to somewhere to being a 20-something. So like, there's not any explicit language or anything. But at the same time, they touch on, like, real serious themes and so on, that big strike zone. So, this is set in a superhero world in LA. Superheroes are a thing. The main character is Penelope Ack. She is the daughter of 2 retired superheroes. They're both smarts-type heroes. Her dad is what we would call, in Wild Talents, a hypermind. He's just super smart and actually can, like, reverse engineer super technology and make it mass-producible.
Real quick, everyone, when we say hypermind, that's a Wild Talents term. Think of it this way. The smartest person in the world right now would have 5D in mind.
Right.
Someone who has hypermind would have 6D up to 10D.
Right.
Just to give you a scale of how smart this person is.
Yeah. Basically, he's smarter than every other normal smart person there is, but he's not necessarily a mad scientist. Because that's the thing, and we'll get to that in a second. And her mom's superhero name is The Audit. As far as anyone knows, she doesn't have any actual superpowers. She's just really good at statistical analysis, and she's terrifying.
Oh, God.
She dodges bullets by predicting where you're going to shoot and just not being there, and does other terrifying things, like she defeated a supervillain by throwing sand in his eyes and making him punch a telephone pole. So he got electrocuted, and then he was hit by a bus. Like, the Audit is a scary lady. They treat her as completely terrifying. Everybody's glad she's retired. But yeah, Penelope's daughter of 2 retired superheroes. She's just going to school, hanging out with her friends. Her best friend is the daughter of another supervillain who turned into a hero. She's a super cat burglar type. And so one day her power awakens. She's a mad scientist. She makes some stuff, but then she gets into a fight with another superhero's sidekick at school who is a hero, and thus she and her friends who pick up superpowers along the way are all labeled as villains, and she just decides to roll with it and be a villain and have fun because she's got a mad science power, and she makes crazy inventions. And yeah, no, it's a really good book series. The second one is Don't Tell My Parents I Blew Up a Moon, and the third one is Don't Tell My Parents I've Got Henchmen. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to track down the fourth one yet, and for reasons we're going to talk about in Let's Talk After You, I can't exactly go buying books right now. So, I have not been able to finish the series, but it's pretty good, and it's just, especially for you and me, because, we've talked about it in the past that we ran a superheroes campaign. It was one of my longest running campaigns that I ran. It was really good, and, we've done a lot with the setting. Like, our good buddy Ron has run a version in a different place of that setting with characters that we've got to play. Maybe we'll play West Coast again someday. But, I call that Metahuman Renaissance for reasons. But, so, we've done a lot with, like, this idea of, like, saturation of superheroes. And it's just, the book series is really interesting because, like I said, it's kid-friendly without being, like, talking down to you, which is the thing as a kid I always hated was media and people that, like, talk down to you. You gotta talk to me like I'm an idiot. I can read real good, guys.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just very interesting to see this look at, like, and they're constantly, like, in the third one, they basically start a club for lots of other superpowered children at their school, and they just straight up ask, do you want to be a hero or a villain? Because it doesn't really matter. It's just, what do you want to do with your life? Right? Like, you can switch at any time if you feel like it. They are in an advanced, like, postmodern state of superheroes. Like, they're like post-Golden Age, Silver Age, Iron Age, and all that. You know, they're in the truly modern era where yeah, superheroes and villains just have accepted rules, because otherwise the world would have ended. Like, you know, one of their rules is you don't get personal, which is always said with a capital P. Like, you don't reveal people's secret identities. You don't go after a person in civilian identity, like, ever. You don't as a hero.
So they have a code of conduct.
Yeah, they have a code of conduct, an unofficial code of conduct, which is like, hey, if you break these rules, fucking everybody will get on your case, right? Like,
yeah.
And there are a couple of heroes, and probably a couple of villains. There are a couple of heroes who are like the edgy kind, who are like, hey, if you break the rules, this superhero will kill your ass. Like, most of them won't, but there are a couple out there. Like, there's one they say describe as, she's called Morning Dove, and she's got like creepy anti-healing life vampire powers. She is always seen as terrifying. Like, Penny and her friends are always like, hey, if you run into Morning Dove, don't bother, just fucking run. Because if she thinks you are a serious threat, she will kill you. And people just accept that that's a thing that she does. Because she's that superhero, right? Like, she's like a Punisher tier. Like, if you go too far outside what we describe as acceptable, we'll punch your ticket. So, like I said, it's a really interesting setting to deal with.
Well, honestly, like, when you think it, like, the more I think about this actually makes a lot of sense from an economic standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Because by regulating how both how supervillains and villains act, they basically support each other. Because without villains, there are no needs for superheroes, and without superheroes, well, villains would just, I want to say, like, deteriorate.
Well, I mean, if you think about it classically, a lot of villains are created because of the hero's presence. They see somebody who's like excelling or succeding, and they're like, "Fuck, I can do that." And just like, if you're not a supervillain, you are just a terrorist, basically. This was an interesting conceit of a Better Angels campaign design, which I wrote. Better Angels is a kind of superheroes game. It's meant to, like, pastiche Silver Age tropes, but also supervillains and some superheroes are possessed by literal demons from hell and use demonic powers. So it's also like a morality commentary. We've talked about it before, I think, like, off mic. But it's an interesting system. You should check it out. It's the same core engine as Wild Talents.
This makes me think of Despicable Me, like, you talking about this. Because, like, something I always won't try to tell, like, we actually mentioned this on What's episode is, you got to, like any sort of villain, you have to make human. Like, if you just try to make someone seem like a seething mass of hatred and evil out to set the bad things, they're going to be completely unrelatable, and it's just honestly a bad character. So seeing a story that might explore something more from a villain side, even if it's something more geared toward young adults, I find that absolutely fascinating. I'm gonna probably see if I can, like, find this title and read it, because
they're real good. And like I said, and they don't treat being a villain as, like, a permanent career ender. It's not like, oh fuck, I'm stuck as a villain now. It's like, oh shit, now I'm gonna be a villain, and honestly, I gotta watch out for my fucking parents, because if they catch me, they're gonna ground me for, like, forever, and then later I'll come out as a hero. Like, Penny spends so much time trying to, like, figure out, okay, today's the day I'm gonna flip the script. I'm gonna come out as a hero today, and some of the stuff doesn't work. But yeah, it's very interesting. And then
I just about imagine that it's all like, yes, from this time to this time, I was the villain such and such, and at this point, well,
that's literally what I said. One of her best friends is Claire. Her mother is Misty Lutra, who was like a cat burglar type. Her one superpower was that she could basically cloud men's minds, that classic trope. But also she was a really good cat burglar, and she was a villain for a while, but she also did some heroic stuff, and she just retired. And, you know, she's a lot more accepting of the kids' antics, which are potentially villainous, than, like, Penelope's parents, who are, like I said, ex-heroes. But that's because to her, she knows, hey, fuck, you can switch sides anytime.
From, like, just from your hearing, it sounds like Penelope's parents are extra strict, and they probably wouldn't understand. This also sounds like a coming-of-age story. Of
it's very much, right, like, because, like,
the world.
I guess this is kind of spoilers, but there's like 5 books in the series and I'm 3 through, but like there's like a tension, there's like a love triangle dynamic, because it's the classic 2 girls and 1 guy friendship. And like I said, her Penny's girlfriend Claire is like, well, obviously her mom was a sexy cat burglar lady, so she's like the cute, hot, you know, middle school girl. She's like, you know, she's on the cheerleading team or gonna apply to be the cheerleading team and stuff like that. So Right, like, she's the obvious conventional pretty one, and then, but Penny has an age crush on the one male friend, Ray, and so there's a lot of, like, sorting out their different dynamics, and, like, okay, do we actually, like, do you like me, and stuff like that, and lots of other stuff, and also another big point is, their supervillain identities are clearly kids, but they're like, hey, take us seriously, adults.
Yeah.
And that's, like, a big plot point of a lot of the books, is like, hey, we're doing real villain work out here, okay? Like, don't treat us like kids. So yeah, no, it's very interesting to look at. I think Penelope's parents are strict, though they're also, like I said, they're both ex-heroes, and they're both mind-type heroes, so obviously there's a little bit of strictness there.
Maybe they already know, and they're actually just seeing where the daughter goes.
Though I will say, Penny has an amazing money-making strategy. Every time her dad calls her pumpkin, she gets $1. Every time he calls her princess, she gets $5. And this is a system that they've apparently established. I don't know if it's just because he's a little condescending when he says it, because he's, like, super smart, or just they're trying to get him to not sound like a doddering old scientist, but it's hilarious that, like, this is just a thing the book starts that way. When she's talking to her dad, it's like, you said princess, you owe me $1. And he's like, uh-huh. Sure thing. Sure thing, pumpkin. There's another.
I love it.
And that's how she buys video games and stuff.
And she likes video games.
Oh yeah, no, they love video games.
That's good.
There are a lot of hearkenings to modern video game tropes. They play, like, a kid-friendly but a little weird, like, team shooter game. A couple books later, they reference, like, a psychological, like, fantastical first-person game, and then they talk about multiple endings and stuff, so it's clearly meant to, like, harken to, like, BioShock or, like, Myst or something. Like, no, like, this is a very... I think the first one was published, like, 2014, I want to say? Like, this is a modern book series. And it shows. It's really good. I like it a lot. I'm eager to learn more.
I might have to check this out. But I'm going to segue with this talking about books. It's something that kind of interests me. I think it is to be a book. Did you get this conversation at all?
Lucky, hold on a second. You're roboting pretty hard right there. You might want to repeat that. Can you hear me okay?
Did you?
Hold on, audience. We might have to reset the recording. We're getting a little weird. Getting a little funky. Let me try disconnecting and reconnecting. Discord, can you hear me? No, Discord can't hear me. Microphone, why are you freaking out again? I'm gonna pause the recording while Discord unfucks itself. Alright, we're back. We switched.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Discord decided to let their hamsters free, and everything caught on fire.
Yeah, we switched servers. Hopefully we sound okay again. So, Lucky, you were saying something before about being a bookworm.
Yes, so a conversation caught my eye earlier, and they asked the question, and it makes me want to ask the question, what do you consider to be bookwormish, or when someone is a bookworm? Because traditionally, you would think bookworm is someone who reads a lot, and takes a bunch of literary media. But then they said something, because someone asked a qualifier, it's all like, what do you mean by bookworm? And they said, not manga or light novels. And first, immediately I was like, whoa. I read a fuck ton of manga and light novels, all right? And I still consider myself
or at least I used to.
Yeah. And, I was about to get on my fucking soapbox and start preaching the good word, but then I had to stop and think about it. It's like, could I consider manga and light novels something that contributes to a bookwormish nature?
So,
because I'm pretty sure people in a lot of our audience know what manga are and probably know what light novels are, and they understand that manga definitely not like books. Light novels kind of like books. Would you equate them in the same category as like a good old paperback?
I mean, a light novel, yeah. Have you read a fucking kid's book lately? They're tiny.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I have 2 points, I think, to start with this. One, according to Merriam-Webster, the definition of a bookworm is a person unusually devoted to reading and study. So, that's a pretty broad definition, A. And yeah, you do read manga and Western comic books. traditionally when you're in school and people are yelling at you, they don't call you a bookworm for reading comic books, because that's just a thing lots of kids do, at least when I was in school, because I was homeschooled since 3rd grade. The second thing is I'm volunteered in a library for community service hours for a scholarship. I did this for like 2 years, a couple hours every week, shelving books, because that's what your entry-level basic-ass volunteer work is in a library. It's more fun than you might think, but not as fun as it sounds. If you think it sounds fun, it's not as fun as that, but if you're like, oh god, that sounds terrible, it's like, it's really not. You get a fucking cart, you put the books on the shelf. You don't have to put them, like, 5 at a time. You can do them 1 at a time if they're heavy. But, I started in the kids section. In case you haven't been to your library or bookstore lately, children's books are tiny, but they're still books. You still call a kid who reads a lot of Animorphs or, Magic Treehouse, stuff like that, that I read when I was a kid. Those books are short and thin and small. You still call that kid a bookworm. So if a light novel's a novel, I mean, I know they're not aimed as, like, demographically low, but they're often arranged in, like, shorter chunks. So that's still bookwormy. And honestly, like I said, dictionary definition, you're still reading a manga. It's still words on a page. It's just also illustrated. So I don't know. I mean, yeah. I think we think of those people differently.
Yeah. But I was actually thinking about it, like, they often say, like, you often hear the saying, like, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And, like, how does that, like, I was wondering, how does that translate into manga versus, like a fully written out work? Like, how much information in one picture would it take to write down in a book? It's like, because that's the thing, as I say, you know, information compression. We're always going to go back to this. Manga is often shorter, less text worthy, because they use a lot of visuals to basically compress what can be like several pages of text into a single box and image. And I don't think that's any less relevant to the reader than all the text. Because, as I said, like what are you reading? When you're reading a book, you're basically taking what's on that page and putting it into your brain. And manga is literally just kind of a shortcut to that. Mm-hmm. And humanity's ever-growing need for expediency and convenience.
All right, so the microphone may hear some weird sounds as I waggle around my room/office, but I have reached up into one of my cabinets and pulled A Wrinkle in Time, paperback edition. That's 211 pages.
Really? That's it?
Thing. Yes, it is. I'm now going to go to a different shelf and grab a serialized manga volume, which are somewhere in here. Lucky vamp for a second.
All right. Anyway, while Omega's off, go that. It's like, because I read all sorts of media. Audiobooks, paperbacks, mangas, light novels. Western comics, not really much my thing. So I have a wide breadth of media experience in this. And the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, the flavors are all different, but no matter what, you're contributing to your literacy as a whole. Because, yeah, like as Omega was saying, there are children books that, you know, as a kid, if you read a fuck ton, you're a bookworm. Do you have to, like, change your taste as you grow up? Do you have to start freaking reading, great philosophers, like Aristotle, Socrates, and all that? Do you have to start being able to quote William Shakespeare to be considered a bookworm? Do you have to be able to quote chapters from Harry Potter? Like, shoot, even Harry Potter was, like, aimed from, I think, like, kids in middle school to young adults. Because that's what we grew up with. Like, literally. I don't even know if an adult could get into Harry Potter right now.
You could try. It's aimed a little young. All right, so I'm back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of things that, like, people say, it's like, oh, yeah, I've read all of Harry Potter. I'm like, didn't you read all of that as a kid? It's one of those series that we literally grew up with. So it's like, if you want to be considered a bookworm as an adult, what do you have to do? Do you have to be, like, reading, like, the great works? Study philosophers, like, writing? That's like,
I don't necessarily recommend that. Like, lots of great works of literature are awful. But maybe that's because I also tried to read those in school.
Have you tried to read Crime and Punishment, people? Holy shit.
The one for me is always A Tale of Two Cities. Fuck that. Fuck that book.
Did I read A Tale of Two Cities? I read Kidnapped. I remember that.
All right, so I
That was
have
strange.
with me like I said, the paperback A Wrinkle in Time, and I have the official Volume 1 from Shonen Jump of Shaman King. And
that shit.
Shaman King is definitely thicker. Obviously, there's no page count number in an actual manga, but it's one volume is thicker than a 200-page paperback. So I'm guessing this has got to be at least close to like 250 pages.
Oh wow!
So
And considering that you can compress more information into an image in the text, damn.
So yeah,
I don't know if actually
manga's very information dense.
It is.
Yes, by the way, if you're asking, I own 2 volumes of Shaman King. I own like 1 volume of Bleach randomly. I own the entirety of not .hack, but is it something of the Twilight? I don't remember the subtitle right now. It's been a while, but I own all of that. I don't own a lot of manga, but I like what I own. It's actually been a while since I read Shaman King. I really like Shaman King. I should reread that sometime. Anyway,
like right now, I've been trying to buy more light novels and manga and stuff because one day I'm gonna have me a goddamn light novel manga library. There's also gonna be some fantasy works in there, but it's gonna all be about dragons because I fucking love dragons. But right now, I have the first 6 volumes of Spice and Wolf.
nice.
If you guys don't know Spice and Wolf, like go read that and you try telling me that that's something for kids. Like honestly.
Well, here's the beautiful thing.
Like,
I should say
you
this.
also know what else?
Anime is for kids. Not in like, oh, it's kids of his baby, but like, demographically speaking, consistently, anime is aimed at children, like, or at least it's children acceptable. Shonen and shoujo, that's the quote-unquote young boys and girls category. That's for, like, people age 12 and up, alright? Yeah. Now, they do have more serious, but aimed at, like, late teenagers, early 20s, but still, like, college-age kids. We can call it college kids. Since I've been out of college a couple years.
I'm almost 31. I can call most people kids.
Yeah, so, but yeah, no, like, in terms of making money, anime is consistently, basically, it's a demographic for kids that has a periphery demographic in adults, many of whom enjoyed it as children.
Yeah. It's something we grew up with. Also, I have the first 2 volumes of Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Nice. Love that show.
Yeah, again, you say, it's aimed at kids, but
well, that's
I don't know how kid-friendly I really want to call that.
At least historically, anime is aimed at being acceptable to a younger audience. And of course, what Japan considers acceptable to a younger audience is different than in America, hence why when we adapted stuff aimed at the same demographic, it's often censored to hell.
Oh my god, 4Kids.
Because think about it.
Is 4Kids still doing stuff?
No, I think they had to fold. I think they had to stop, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, that's because all of us grew up and we're like, what the fuck is this shit? How dare you take away all the good bits?
Naruto is aimed at the same demographic or at least it was. It was aimed at the same demographic in Japan as it is in America. The American version has the potentially rude language censored, and I'm pretty sure, at least for the first couple seasons, some of the violence was, like, edited around. It was, like, black and whited and stuff like that, reduced. And obviously, anime adaptations go this way, too. Like, the Bleach anime was heavily censored over the manga.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot more blood in the manga, and a lot less people puking up spit.
Honestly, I actually might feel that might have been just animation concerns. It's all like, we don't have time to draw all this fucking blood and dead bodies. Fuck this.
Well, no, but they also did a lot of placeholders, like, oh, you got stabbed, or you got there were some very, very gross visceral scenes in Hekalinda, where like, oh, you got your stomach crushed, you should puke up a shitload of blood, or you got punched a lot, you should throw up some blood. No, you just spit a little bit or coughed and maybe vomited a little. So I'm pretty sure it was definitely like for this being a primetime TV slot, we think there should be a little less blood. But still, like and hey, guess what? When Bleach was picked up by Adult Swim in English, so their dub had swears and it didn't have any violent censoring. Like, but that's a completely different demographic. That's the shit that was on in the middle of the night, so kids couldn't stay up and watch it, right?
That's what people thought.
But in Japan, that's the same demographic. That's a show for, like, 14-year-olds. arguably it's a show for 14-year-olds in, like, the US, but you put it on Adult Swim so people think it's for, like, 18-year-olds.
Which is great because the good shit on Adult Swim always aired on Friday and Saturday night, you know, when all the kids, you know, would be up and shit.
Also, hey, fuck you people trying to keep me from watching stuff on TV. I was a smart child. I know how to operate a VHS recorder. So, hey, if something's on at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning and my parents wouldn't let me stay up that late, I just taped it. I have on VHS tapes a couple, for my personal use only, thank you very much, before we get copyright crashed, where the FBI comes in, not for distribution. I recorded, we talked about the Inuyasha movies earlier. I have 2 of those recorded on VHS tapes. The other 2 I bought on DVD. But I recorded 2 of them on Adult Swim with commercials and the Adult Swim inserts, because Adult Swim inserts are great.
Oh my god, I miss those so much.
I don't have a working VHS player right now. We might have, I mean, I don't personally have one. I think we probably have one left over in the house. But it's there. Yeah. But, yeah, no, demographics is a weird thing.
No, you're talking about VHS, man. Like, I wish, like, when I moved out of my parents' house and joined the military and stuff, a lot of my stuff got lost in transit. AKA my parents threw it out because it was just taking up space. But on one VHS, I had recorded Adult Swim's second run of Fooly Cooly. Like, all 6 episodes with Adult Swim inserts. And that thing was, like, my prized possession in high school. Basically getting to watch Fooly Cooly anytime I wanted. Oh my god.
And now you can just watch it on YouTube.
Now I can just watch it on fucking YouTube. Honestly, I have weird feelings about that. You know...
Well, also,
to me, Fooly Cooly, like, have we actually talked about at length about Fooly Cooly?
No, we have not. Not on this show. I think we've mentioned how much we love it before on, like, Power Hour, because we were talking about the upcoming sequel seasons.
Yeah, the first one's out, by the way. Like, I haven't watched it yet because I'm half excited, but also half terrified.
Yeah, it's fully out, isn't it? Shit, I gotta look up where to find that. I don't even know where it's hosted. Did Funimation send me some fucking emails? Funimation sends me emails all the time about shit, and I'm like, God damn it, guys.
Fooly Cooly is basically Gynex's work. I think it was like immediately after Evangelion.
I think it was too. I'll double check.
But basically, they said, all right, what we just worked on was way too fucking serious. Let's kick back with something different. And they basically made a coming of age story with fucking robots and aliens. And then basically grabbed this band that's like, hey, we like your music. Make anime music for us. And the Pills were like, here, just take this fucking album. And they went, all right, we'll roll with this. It made something that I think is greater than the sum of its parts. Because, like, growing up, like, I was in my teens at the time, and seeing this coming of age story in that style, like, blew my fucking mind. And I think it's, like, one of the things that actually, like, made me who I am today. Like, not being so concerned about being a grown-up and learning to enjoy the time I have.
Oh yeah, no, it's a deeply impactful work. I watched it when I was he's 12 in the show, right? Yeah. So that's probably when I watched bits of it earlier, but sometimes it was hard to catch because I was an idiot and didn't know how to record things.
Mm-hmm.
But I caught, not the original run, but I caught a couple of runs on Adult Swim at some point. But I was about that age. I was like 11 or 12. Also, it was not immediately after Evangelion, but it was 2000, and end of Evangelion was 1997. So it was close after, but let's see. Did they do anything major? No, Maharomatic was after. I think they did a couple of TV shows, but I don't think they were this stress release maybe that they were looking for. Because you can definitely tell there's some similarities with Fooly Cooly to, like, let's not do that serious mecha shit again. I don't know, take your fucking meds.
And they don't. They make
by the way, let's be real. I'm not being disrespectful to Hideki Anno. He really did. He was super depressed, and he was not on medication for it. And that's kind of why Evangelion's so fucked up. Like, he was in a real fucked up place in his life.
Like, real talk, a lot of people
I don't appreciate that people think that, like, that's super high art, man. I'm like, if you like it and it speaks to you, that's fine. at the same time, like, I don't know if that speaks to, like, the period of the work. You're like, he was a tortured soul and stuff. It's like, he was in a bad place in his life, right? And he wrote some shit that's from a bad place, okay? Like, if you like it, sure, but still. Oh, also, I think...
Like, I'm not a big fan of the original Evangelion.
I think that a lot of the stuff that they did after Evangelion, between it and Fooly Cooly, were adaptations.
Yeah, I think so.
Also. So this might have been one of their first big original works since they stopped doing Evangelion. I have some friends, some old anime friends, who'd probably try to cut me if I badmouth Evangelion, but...
You see, here's the thing. I don't like the original Evangelion. The original Evangelion is confusing as fuck to me.
It is.
I fucking love the rebuild.
Its pacing is weird.
Yeah.
Because I also love Rebuild. And,
yeah.
I mean, okay, so I was like 14 when I first watched Eva, but it's still like, fuck, man, that's like, God, it's so drug out, and like, people are shitty for seemingly no reason, and just, it's not as finely tuned as it could be. Rebuild, though, like, I watched the first Rebuild, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Shinji, don't get in that robot. You just got blown up for, like, the third time in an hour, in 2 hours. Because the pacing is way tighter.
Yeah, like, the original Evangelion, when it got dubbed, the VA for Shinji, like, at the end of it, like, said, can we just leave the recordings? I just want to rant a bit. And ranted about the series and how he couldn't understand fucking any of it.
I think he still feels that way.
Yeah, so
I have the Blu-rays for the first two rebuilds. I don't think I have the third one because that was in like licensing hell for a long time.
Yeah,
and God knows if they're gonna make the fucking fourth one.
They're actually working on it. They released a trailer recently. So
oh my God! Finally,
it's happening soon. I hope.
Jesus, for reals.
Because that's what it's planned for.
Some people are gonna be happy about this, but I'm a little disappointed to talk about mecha anime and movies. But apparently, Lelouch the Resurrection is gonna be a film. Not a new TV season as we were initially led to believe. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of a letdown. I mean, that's probably better for, like, you don't have to worry about writing a fucking, like, 13 or 20 episode series.
Wait. Is it just going to be a single film, or is it going to be, like, a 3-film series?
I don't know. I'm seeing it as a film. If it's a film series, that's probably okay, but if it's just one, if it's basically like, we made a coda, we made an epilogue film to go with, like, the re-release films, I'm like, oh, that's a little sad. Also, that means, fuck, I gotta watch the re-release films, because I'm sure that's the continuity they're gonna use.
Yeah.
Which I'm not
averse to. That's something that definitely happens.
God. Also, actually, are the remake films dubbed anywhere? Because, oh my God, the Code Geass English dub crew, I've talked about that before. They did good work. Like, Code Geass is a great English dub. Fooly Cooly, to wrap it around back to that a little, is another phenomenal English dub. The part of that is because they kept all their Japanese isms in, which is great. I learned a lot of Japanese isms just from watching that show in English.
Yeah.
They keep the honorifics. They keep a lot of the Japanese onomatopoeia. Just random culture references.
I wonder,
it's a real tight show.
Actually, I actually think that... I wonder if, like, Adult Swim actually handled the localization for that. Because the way they did it was definitely way different than anyone else did. Which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Like,
let's see.
Video game localizations are a lot like that. You see that a lot more than anime dubs. Where, like, Persona, all three Persona titles on the PS2 era, which were definitely imported to us, like, those all had sterling localizations. Though I've heard that behind the scenes stuff that P5 is a little, like, under-directed. Like, the script wasn't necessarily as polished, and the English voice actors didn't always have super tight direction on it. But they still... If your script isn't good and your direction's not good, but your casting was good enough to get voice actors who can still make a great product out of that, you still did okay.
Yeah.
There's more than one part to this machine.
I didn't know this, but apparently Legend of Korra was heavily inspired by Fooly Cooly, and the director of Avatar The Last Airbender says the staff was ordered to buy Fooly Cooly and watch every single episode of it. Like, Fooly Cooly is something that has inspired other, like, creators and animators and stuff.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, like, if we want to have the Korra conversation, which I'm sure the internet wants us to have, we can go there, but at the very least, that from Avatar to Legend of Korra, that show was obviously super anime-esque, super anime-inspired. And by the time it got to Korra, some of the actual action animation was outsourced to Japanese studios.
Yeah, I think Trigger did some of it, actually, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe they were part of the outsourcing, yeah. But no, it's that at least is flawless. Now, if you want to talk about the show being great, I mean, I liked it. People complain about the ending, but they're wrong. The ending was great.
What, Legend of Korra?
Yes.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. Internet people are mad.
Like, honestly, like, it's good. Like, it's a journey. They're about to go on their journey now.
Also,
like,
it's super fucking Buddhist. Oh my god. Learn your fucking philosophy this shit's based on.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Korra confronts the dark version of herself, the metaphorical dark version of herself, and accepts that this is what she sees. She's like, you're me. I'm you. That's exactly how this works. You're just doing what I would have done, like, 2 years ago before I went through my fucking journey of suffering, because life is suffering. The Buddha said so. Only by letting go of your suffering do you reach nirvana. And she just says, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I saved your life. I'm gonna let it go. You have to face your own actions. I'm a fucking Zen Buddhist metaphor. And like, oh my god, it's perfect. The show is really well written. The first couple books are a little rough because I think Nickelodeon, like, over purchased, because it was meant to be a miniseries. And then it was like, holy shit, people want this. It's going to be a full television series. And the way the first season is written, it sure feels like they didn't necessarily know what they were going to do with that. And they definitely didn't know that they were going to get another season until they were like 90% of the way through it. And then that's why book one ends so completely, right? Like, everything is wrapped up with not a lot of, like, suffering. Because when they wrote the scripts, it was one miniseries season that got expanded to episodes. And then once it started airing, they were like, holy shit, people love this, we're buying a second season. And we're like, fuck, now we gotta make up a second season. Because we wrote the first season to wrap perfectly. And then you get to the second season, which has a lot of conflict problems because it's trying to basically reestablish a conflict in a setting that was like, fuck, we resolved everything, we gotta make up some new shit.
Honestly, I feel like I tell this to people. I feel like the first book resolved a little too quickly.
I would agree, but I completely understand why. Because
they wrote all that was to resolve.
Yeah,
that's like, all right, we're just making one season. All right, she gets all her powers back at the end. Whatever, we're done. Bye. Okay, they want more. Well, shit.
Fuck, we made her fully realized. How do we unfuck this? Let's just introduce a whole lot of new magic background bullshit that nobody understands yet, and we'll just roll with it. And I honestly,
you know what they say, fake it till you make it.
I did this fridge logic. I did this thinking about this. All 4 books of Korra are the setting is supposed to be 1920s inspired, right?
Yep.
All 4 books deal thematically with major happenings and ideological movements in the 20s era. The Equalists are communism. Book 2 is about Civil War, which happened a lot, and about occultism and spiritualism, also super big in that time period. Book 3 is about anarchy, and Book 4 is about fascism. It's a perfect slice of our own real-life experience in that time period translated to a fantastical world.
Honestly, the
thematics are all on point.
It always blows my mind how, like, creators can make these sort of things. And you're just like, and it all just clicks. And it's just like, oh.
I know, it's great.
You've been leading me by the nose this entire time.
But no, I know, it ended okay. It ended real good, actually, I should say. It was thematically on point. Okay, so she got a giant fucking robot out of nowhere. That's super pulp, though. Right, did you guys forget you were in, basically, a pulp magic kung fu setting?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, suspension of disbelief is important for lots of genres, but there are a lot of... I think some of it's due to our postmodern focus on, like, critical thinking and criticism and all that stuff. We are encouraged, especially at, like, say, like, in school, if you do go to college, every fucking class said, like, here's how this course will teach you critical thinking, because somebody in a boardroom or a government somewhere said that we need to put this on all the pieces of paper. But
let's not get into the American education system.
Yeah, that's a different discussion we don't need to have on What's Up. But Like, that's a thing. They were like, that's a focus. Supposedly, we're teaching you this. I think that happens to lots of people, and we think too hard about some stuff. We look too hard at things, because guess what? If you look too hard at anything, you will see something, because that's what the human mind does. It sees a blank space, it fills it.
Yep.
Is there a sinister conspiracy here? Well, you're looking at it, and you're wondering if there's a sinister conspiracy here. A sinister conspiracy is going to appear in your mind to fill the gap. It's the same way with, like...
This might be why I'm so good with anime. I just don't think about it much. I'm all like, is it good? What hits me like initially is generally what I go with until I've basically consumed the whole thing and I can let it like stew around in my thought a little bit. Like Lost Encore.
You look back at it and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that was a part of this whole thing and the other thing, and you look at it and you're like, okay, I understand this now. Yeah.
It's like Last Encore. As I said, seeing it in bits and pieces, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. But guess what? I enjoyed it. To get it all together, I look back, I was all like, what?
So yeah, no, I think some people take critical examining of fiction a little too seriously. Like
goddamn fiction for one.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief is important. You have to be able to kick that on because everything else is. At some point, there's a break point, right? Like, and everybody has different break points. Like, you know, talk about something that people analyze too much. Like, some people's breakpoints were some of the stuff that happened in, like, The Last Jedi. If you're asking, we will say it publicly. We've said it on Discord before. Lucky and I are both okay with The Last Jedi. It's not the best, but it's not a terrible franchise ender. To me, the high moments kept me in more than the low moments let me out. Like, if you want me to look back on it, I can be like, there was a whole middle section of that movie that didn't mean anything, and it was just there to look pretty, I think. And we were, like, contractually obligated to put these characters in for more time, but,
I just want my boy Finn to not suck at shit, alright?
That's all we want. No, seriously, like, Finn's great. Love that guy.
Finn's great. I love him.
But yeah, no, like, people sometimes think a little too hard about fiction. Fiction is a construct. It's supposed to represent something. Lots of stuff is allegorical or metaphorical. If you think about it too literally, you will run into problems, and then you'll just hurt your appreciation for a work that clearly didn't give a fuck about that tiny detail because it didn't do anything about it, right?
I think this is where a lot of elitism comes from, is people think things way too hard and try to put themselves on a way higher scale than it really needs to be.
Yeah, no, like, okay, are Marvel movies super complex? No, not most of them. Do they involve superheroes punching stuff? Yes. Do they attempt to actually give characterization to these people? Yes. Do they vaguely assemble stuff out of, you know, literal decades of continuity to make something that makes sense to a casual viewer? Yeah. They're good. They're fun. A lot of them are built on a formula, but hey, whatever. I mean, it's comic books, guys. Like, what the fuck are you expecting?
Honestly,
the Dark Knight was a super standout, but at the same time, it was still built on, like, decades of conceptual stuff and themes built into Batman comics that no one was able to go, oh, hey, I have an idea for this, and how it's clicked. And it's not like Nolan is a perfect snowflake all the time, right? Because he also made The Dark Knight Rises, which most people agree was a little weird. It's not as good as The Dark Knight. It's got a lot of stuff in it that's really easy to meme on, to riff on. It's okay, but,
everyone just loses their mind. Like, honestly, like, the Joker was, like...
Oh yeah, Heath Ledger's performance killed it. It's a terrible shame.
Yeah.
What happens? Because can you imagine? I mean, obviously, okay, a guy's dead, but can you imagine what he could have done, like with a follow-up Batman movie with other stuff? He was great. He was doing good art.
Yeah, that's the joke. Heath Ledger's Joker was like when we first saw it, everyone was all like, "What the fuck is this?" And then
you remember you're watching Nolan Batman, and oh my god, it works.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna show you a magic trick. I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Boom! Where did the pencil go? It's in the guy's fucking eye. It's gone. God, I love that movie so much.
I feel like I honestly feel like here's my conspiracy. I feel like he got too much into the Joker headspace and couldn't get back out. Like that's honestly what I feel like. To deliver that kind of performance, you have to do some deep diving.
We're only just an hour, so we got a little more time. Let's talk about TV. And talking about acting, there are a couple of things I did, because I said, hey, so I I haven't been in the greatest headspace this past week because some disappointing things have happened in my life that sucked up a lot of time. But so I've spent a lot of time browsing Netflix. I've watched some stand-up comedy. I'm not really going to talk about that. That's personally, I think comedy's a very personal thing. Like what some cultures find stuff universally funny, but also a lot of humor is cultural. So what I find funny might not be funny to other people. But just like Netflix has a lot of stand-up comedy stuff. Just browse around a while. But there are two shows I watched all of over the past couple of weeks. But a lot of the heavy lifting was this week. So I want to mention these. The first I would just briefly touch on because I thought about touching on it last week. It's a show called Kim's Convenience. It's a Canadian show. It's 2 seasons, and as far as I know, it's done. There's only 2 seasons ever. It was based on a stage play of I think the same name, and it's about a Korean immigrant family in Canada who runs a convenience store, and their quirks and stuff, and it's just wholesomely funny and interesting.
Huh.
Like it's just nice. Like it's a sitcom, and they're a family, they have the typical ups and downs. Yeah, there's some cultural stuff, and some people are going to be like, oh, there's a cultural approach. It was written by a Korean who played some of the parts in the original stage play, okay? It's not a cultural, like, appropriation thing. It's this guy's writing a fictional work commenting about his life experience. And it's really interesting to see this sort of slice of other people's lives, right? That's something I really like. I really like exploring other cultures and other people's existence, because, I mean, sure, I've done interesting stuff in my life, but it's not the same interesting stuff as anybody else's, so it's just seeing these back and forths, and at the same time, like, you can find some cultural relevancy. It doesn't matter that the dad's Korean and the mom's Korean, and their 20-year-old daughter is in art college, still living with them above their convenience store. Like, there's some stuff there that it doesn't matter what culture you are, you get it. You get some stuff with your parents. It's just really interesting to see. And also, interestingly enough, for a Canadian show, you never would have told, other than the fact that they mentioned Canadian stuff like dollars and locations. There's only like one scene, I think, that's like, this is very Canadian, which is at one point the convenience store gets held up and the punk kid in a hoodie pulls out a knife, whereas in America that would have been a gun, and the convenience store owner probably would have had a shotgun under the counter. But whatever, it's Canada, it's a knife. Like
honestly, I think about most American convenience stores. If someone put on a knife, they would literally, like, the clerk would literally laugh at them.
Probably. And, like, okay, there's some American commentary there, but, like, that's definitely a thing, like, that's not how that would go in America.
Yeah.
But, not that knives are any less scary, because it was like a butterfly knife. It was showy, right? That was a point in the show, but at the same time, it's like, you can hurt somebody with that. A bullet or a knife, when you're standing at, like, countertop distances, it still fucking sucks. But, like, that was very much okay, this is culturally different. Other than that, I think everything was fine. And it's just interesting to see. And there's enough details like there that you get in there. Like, the father who's called Mr. Kim or Appa, which is, I guess, the Korean slang for, like, dad. He's very upset at the Japanese for obvious reasons. So much so that if any Japanese-made cars park in, like, no parking zones, he'll call the police on them. But then the daughter is like, and what about that nice Canon camera you bought? And he's like, no, I got 50% off. I rip off Japanese. And she's like, it's still a Japanese product. But you keep telling yourself that, Dad. Like, that's little nuggets of stuff that are culturally unique. And it was super interesting to see. And just, like I said, it's 2 seasons. It's 30 minutes, 30 minutes-ish an episode. It's just interesting to see this family dynamic with sprinkling of, like, another culture that you might not be familiar with. Or if you are familiar with, it probably speaks to you on, like, a deeply personal level, I bet. Because everybody
I'm sorry, you say this, and I just keep thinking, like, there's a convenience store, like, right behind my house that is, of course, run by a Korean family, and just, every time we're talking about this, I just keep thinking about them.
Yeah, it's probably similar. The other show I watched on Netflix is completely different. Kind of. Well, it's about cultural stuff, but it's a very different angle. Like, I talk about how Kim's Convenience is, it's very, like, wholesome and stuff, and, like, okay, there's your usual sitcom foibles, but, like, there's not, like, any, like, super dramatic stuff. It's a comedy through and through, a commentary on life, that kind of comedy. Mm-hmm. I also watched Dark Tourism, which is a documentary series about dark tourism. If you don't know, dark tourism is where you go not for happy, shiny stuff, but for, like, macabre or unusual things. And Lucky, let me pitch this show to you, I think, in a way that you'll probably understand. So, one of the episodes was on Japan. You and I both want to go to Japan.
Did they go to the suicide forest?
Let me get there. You and I both want to go to Japan. Where do you want to go to when you go to Japan, right? You want to visit some different districts in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Maybe see some of the countryside for it, like, look around Mount Fuji. Every episode, he goes to, like, 3 destinations, usually this guy, who's a New Zealand journalist.
Mm-hmm.
So, first thing he did was a nuclear tour of the Fukushima region.
Okay.
Where everybody had Geiger counters, and after, like, half an hour, they all got scared and were like, turn the bus around, our Geiger counters are too high, let's go home.
Oh.
The second place he was, yes, the suicide forest. And then the third place was, I don't remember the name of this island, but you've probably heard or seen of it, or it's been used in, like, a movie set. It's an old coal mining island where they built basically a city, like, stacked on top of it, and it's completely abandoned
I've heard of
now.
that.
It's completely abandoned
Yeah, the factory's still standing, and it's all desperate. I do know of it, actually.
With a couple of people who lived there, like, as kids and stuff. So that's what his Japan tour was like, all right? So he went to places in, like, the U.S., Southeast Asia, some places in Europe and stuff. I hope they do more, because it's very interesting to see, and while maybe not I would find some of the stuff he does is interesting or personally jump into it because some of the stuff is crazy, it's still very interesting to see this different cultural look, and he's pretty, like, open and level with people, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, there's some, especially in the Japan one, like, he talks to a woman who said she considered suicide in the forest, but then somebody spoke to her, and she thinks it was a ghost. So, like, she has a deeply spiritual connection to this place, and, like, she talks about Yurei, ghosts trying to, like, possess and hurt her, and he does a little ritual to, like, ward it off that he's not super convinced about, but he's not like, this is stupid and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel how these people do, but they clearly feel like something's going on here, so it's a really weird experience for me, like, in his narration. And there's a couple other spiritual stuff like that. He gets marked as a voodoo disciple in Africa, like, directly in Africa. He visits a Santa Muerte cult in Mexico City, I think. Stuff like that. Like, yes.
Wow.
Like, just people hanging out with statues of death, and it's like, yeah, no. Death's around.
See, here's the thing.
Say,
like,
the cultural difference
remember,
is, as soon as animals or guns get involved, he's a huge candy ass. Like, he goes to a World War II, basically giant LARP, a recreation battlefield in England, and he's like, oh my god, it's so loud, and my adrenaline's pumping, and like, oh my god, is this real? I'm like, okay, that's just because you're a big baby man, Mr. New Zealander. But he also swam in a radioactive crater lake in Kazakhstan. Like, wow. Like, what he thinks is risky or not it's really funny to me to see this. Like, he just hopped in a nuclear test crater lake in Kazakhstan. He didn't go deep or anything because they told him not to do that. But he swam in there, and he's like, I'm a couple shots of vodka, I'll try it. But like I said, you give him a Tommy gun with some blanks, and he starts freaking out a little. So that was a little interesting to see the cultural differences, but like, it's super interesting to see these commentary on places. And like I said, he's real open to stuff. He's not like he picks at a couple things, like he slips up while he's there, while at the World War II recreation, because like he keeps saying Nazi, and they're like, no, they're the Germans. We don't have anybody playing SS officers here. Like, it's just the German army versus the American army. Like, they try to, which I think is a thing people should do more. They try to dissociate these reenactors the idea of like the actual Nazi party government with just German guys in uniforms fighting, which I think is a key thing to do in history. But at the same time, the way they try to avoid saying Nazi is a little like, okay, I get it. You're trying not to do something that other people would think is politically insensitive. He visits some places in South Africa, for instance, where which are post-apartheid, and they're like, yeah, these are all white people communities, and like, nobody wants to say it's about race, but they are a entirely white community in the middle of nowhere, South Africa. Like, you can read between the lines a little. And, like, he tries to pick at them a little to get them to say something. But he's a journalist and a documentarian, so whatever. Like, he visits some weird regimes. He, like, went to, like, Turkmenistan. What? And, like, which, this documentary series added a couple countries to my shit list.
Huh. Well, this is a thought I've been trying to get out, but
sorry.
That's the thing about, cultures and nations. There's always two sides to them. You like, as I said, usually see like most people see like the tourist side where it's like, yeah, come check out the things, buy our overpriced souvenirs, have a good time. Like every country has its scars, every country, and honestly, I think it's as worth a little bit to actually go see them, so you maybe can understand that country a little bit better. Because
that I think is the point of dark tourism that he's trying to get across. It's like, yeah, you don't go for like happy, shiny, fun stuff. You go to be like, yeah, I'm fucking in a post-Soviet nuclear test range, or I'm in the middle of fuck all Cambodia where there's lots of British tourists just shooting off guns, or he went on a couple Kennedy assassination tours in Dallas, some of which were a little macabre.
Like, that's the thing, man. It's like, even bad things are still history. They're still culture. You can't just ignore them because they're not going to go away. It's better that you understand them.
Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
I think a couple different... And it's true, too. Like, if you don't actually learn your lessons from the past, you didn't learn anything, so guess what? Stuff will happen.
There's always two lessons I always try to... It's like, learn from the past so you don't make the same mistakes in the future. And how do I put this one? Well, to put it simply, double check your damn facts.
Yeah.
Like I have no point.
That's another harsh thing I've learned, both from just my own personal interest in like a lot of scientific stuff.
Yeah.
But also just on the internet. Don't always qualify what you say. As far as I remember, blah blah blah, or in my experience, blah blah blah. I don't fucking know like 100% certainty. Nobody does. And
that's like
on the subject of like spiritual stuff, like obviously he's a little skeptical, right? But at the same time, these people believe some shit, and there's some shit clearly going on for them. That's kind of how I feel. Like I feel like especially like scientific or skeptical types who are like, nah, man, all that shit's fucking pseudoscience bullshit somebody made up. I'm like, listen, there's a lot of shit in the universe we don't know. Now, some stuff we have very definitively said, yeah, no, the Earth's round. Like, flat Earth stuff, that's dumb. The logical loops to make your idea of the universe true, they don't follow. But other people are having an experience where something is very real to them. I'm like, fuck, man, I don't accept that science has finished, science is solved, right? Like, there can be shit going on out there that people don't understand.
That's all. Like, science is good at answering questions. Guess what? Science has not answered every question.
Nope. So, like, I personally don't take an overly skeptical approach. I'm like, hey, listen, if these people feel like something's going on there, like, fuck if I know. I mean, I've heard some anecdotes from people that seem like they had some very real experiences that were preternatural of some kind, right? Like, and there's just, human mind is incredibly complex and we don't understand all of it, so even if it's not like ghosts and stuff, like, humans are able to pick up on stuff without realizing it. Our instincts, our brain's ability to like look at stuff and solve problems is nuts. I think we talked about it on the show before, stuff like thin slicing and so on. Like, when you have a gut reaction to a person, there's a reason for that. When you have a flicker of like somebody's watching me or something bad's going on, something is probably happening. Now, you may have picked up some biases in your life that make you react to situations in ways you necessarily shouldn't, but to you, those reactions are probably very real, and they have a very reason, and you should trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Which, talking about, like, critical analysis, that's another thing I think, like, people overanalyze their thinking, too, so, like, they self-doubt their instincts. Now, if your body, if the parts of you that aren't conscious are trying to tell you something, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Whether that's ghosts, or latent psychic abilities, or just you're only using 10% of your brain, or however you want to parse that something we don't quite have a word or an answer for is happening. Whatever, I don't care. I mean, like,
I like to tell people, anytime I get a headache, I'm hoping it's my psychic powers finally awakening.
Well, God, because everybody wants psychic powers, right?
Yeah, I want them. But another thing I was going to mention, but like double checking your facts, is like a lot of history is people like kind of shrugging. So like, we think that's what happened. Because like, Omega, you didn't go through like the standard American system, but I have, and boy, how did they like to omit and or change some details.
Yeah, when you get to the college level, they're usually pretty good about that. Like, I took two semesters of American history. There was not any dumbing down or polishing it. But I will say, I went to regular elementary school. We celebrated Columbus Day when I was a kid in
Columbus
public
Day
school.
Is only yeah,
which is it's
Columbus
a little
Day
fucked
is
up.
Yeah, now nowadays, like especially now since internet and information sharing is super easy now, we're finally starting to move away from that. But like, how long has this been celebrated in America?
Well, let's see. I'm 25, and I went up through second grade in public school. They were still doing it, so like you can do some math, right? Like, yeah, no, it's new enough, right? It's new enough that it was happening in our lifetimes because we're not really that old. We feel like it sometimes, but we're not really that old. But still, geez.
It's like one of those things like remember, history is written by the victors, and the victors want to make themselves look as good as possible.
Right.
Don't like start quoting me saying like I support Hitler or fucking whatever.
Well, no, because guess what? Hitler also wrote books, so we know what Hitler was actually like or at least what he wrote. So he was not great.
Not the devil incarnate, just not great.
No, he was not secretly friends with Cthulhu or something, despite the fact that loads of people like to write that story. But he wasn't a great guy either. At the very least, even if he didn't believe in the shit he said, he was willing to say some goofed up shit to succeed politically, which is kind of bad news.
Okay, so this is my personal stance on Hitler because we've invoked Godwin's law. I'm sorry.
Well, we talked about Nazis
earlier. Oh god, I'm just gonna go. I'm sorry, Meg. I'm just gonna go like head first into this.
Hey,
I actually find Hitler very fascinating, and as a leader, highly respect him because he basically took a broken country and through nothing but literally charisma and a bunch of political negotiation and hostaging, basically something like that, basically turned it into a world-fighting entity. What he did with that power is something of contention and is not right and holy fucking shit, like should never happen in human history again. But at the same time, if those things hadn't happened, we would not be in the world we are in today.
Right. And honestly, you should say that about lots of people. Hey, most historical figures, which people say are cool, were not as cool as you think.
No.
Right? We've talked about cultural relativism before. Like, there are certain ideals that in general humanity has respected as, like, that's probably something we shouldn't do. Like I said before, like, killing people for no reason's bad, taking another person's shit, just for whatever. We don't generally approve of that, but how and why people do things has been culturally distinct at various points through humanity.
Take the British Empire. Take how we carved up Africa.
Yeah, Africa's still fucked up.
Yeah, that's still fucked up. Take the Mongol hordes, the Iskander. Iskander isn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, Alexander. I mean, he still conquered lots of people and places, but Alexander the Great, and there were still some incidents where cities were sacked. But at least on record, he was like, "Yeah, let's try not to crash all these cities we take over."
Like basically, what he would do is
he would effort, which in the ancient world is nuts. He was like,
"Yeah,
let's try not to sack." Well, you did it anyway. Who cares? But
yeah, Alexander, he actually liberated some nations from tyrannical regimes and just put in his own people of power and just moved on. But he still took a giant ass fucking army, went around the world, and said, "This is mine. This is mine. This is mine."
I'm going to Okeanos.
Yeah,
and he didn't make it.
But he didn't make it. Oh god, I was thinking about other people. Look at fucking the Spanish Inquisition, the Holy Crusades. Fucking
several of the Crusades, which got lost along the way and ended up attacking their own allies.
It's oh man, just look at the American Civil War.
Think harder about the Revolutionary War. We had some legit grievances. There's a reason why the Constitution is formatted as the way it is. Because the British were not nice to us. They were very dismissive and straight up okay, Amendment 3 is, in times of peace, you shall not quarter soldiers in a citizens' homes. That has, I think, never been a concern for one iota since it has been written down. But there's a reason it's there. It's because the British would just post guys in your fucking house and be like, yeah, you have to feed and clothe these guys now. And just deal with them. And I'm like, that fucking sucks. That's wrong.
Yeah.
But...
And so it's like, war...
We were not also Sterling... Listen, okay? It was not a perfect system for us.
Like,
there were Indians and there were... former slaves who went over to the British side because they did not like the Proto-Americans very much. Because we were not great
really,
to them.
God, like, if you want to see some dark history shit, look up, like, the Japanese internment camps. Look at, like, fucking Native American.
Funnily enough, the Japanese have still not apologized for it. They're still like, maybe it happens. I don't know. Do you have proof?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the
they're more like, we're not even going to talk about it.
I'm talking about the Japanese internment camps here in America.
That's also, we're not going to talk about that either. We don't want to talk about it. The Japanese don't want to talk about what they did. Nobody who's still around after that period really wants to talk about what happened.
Because, like, fun fact, because this is actually a major point in Washington State, because the site of the Washington State Fairgrounds is the site of a Japanese internment camp, where we basically locked up a bunch of Japanese citizens just because, guess what? They were Japanese.
And we were fighting the Japanese, and it was like, they're just concerned about national security. Hey, does that sound familiar?
It's like, as I said, history is written by the victors, and guess what? They want to make themselves look as good as possible.
And that's why lots of historians are super keen to get the real story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we've talked about this before in, like, Let's Talk FGO, about, like, French history. I'm sure lots of people are slightly confused why Marie Antoinette is, like, a super idol who loves everything. Actually, fun fact, the team actually did their research. As far as we know historically, Marie Antoinette was apparently pretty alright. Like, she offered to give aid to the poor. She was just, the actual queen in a time period of a certain time in France, right? Like, she was not mean to poor people or dismissive of them. She was just a part of the aristocracy in a rough time. And she was demonized by the anti-crown movement so that they would feel okay about cutting her head off and stuff. History. And historians actually try to get back into that and look up.
It's like Nero, like, history tells him that it's his actions that fucking burned Rome to the ground while he merely played a fiddle.
It's like, true. That's probably not true.
That's true. Actually, historically not true, because the fiddle wasn't invented by that point.
Also true. I mean, like, looking at it, was Nero great? Probably not.
No. Rome was already in decline at that point, I believe.
Also, Rome was just real goofed up. Like, he got his position because his mom married the emperor and then made him put Nero as the one, even though Agrippina was, like, Claudius's niece? Great-niece? Something like that. They were, like, fairly closely related. And Rome, even then, was a little weirded out about it, because they had very strict views on, like, family propriety and, like, how your social structure should be run. Nero didn't really go for all that, as far as we know. Nero liked to throw lots of games and performances and build a giant gold hall. And stuff like that. That was true. And just... Nero did not fit what the Roman elites thought their emperor, their leader, should be like. The people apparently seemed to like Nero, but not enough that they actually cared. Well, a little bit, because if Nero wasn't popular with the people, why did so many people try to impersonate Nero after he died? Like, there's a reason why they talk about, Nero rising thrice and stuff like that, right? Like, that's a legit story that people tried to pretend they were Nero risen from the dead. If that wasn't going to work, why would you pretend that? History's weird, guys.
It's like, history is a very fascinating subject that people should take a lot more seriously, but also make sure you shift through all the bullshit and try to get to the actual shining gem of that is the truth. To be fair, that's not easy.
No, it's not.
History. A lot of it's been lost. A lot of it's never going to be found again. But, you need to put in the effort anyway.
Well, let me tell one of my favorite history anecdotes that I think tells you why it's super interesting we know what we know and stuff like that. You might remember this because I posted this in our Discord a while ago. But, so, Ancient Babylonia, one of the first cultures we know of that has written records. They wrote shit in clay tablets. That's where we get the Epic of Gilgamesh, because they wrote it fucking down. And even then, we lost a couple of the tablets. There's like a whole chunk of the last act that we don't even know. We just don't even fucking know. It's gone. We lost those tablets. This is why book burning is really bad, guys. Continuity of information is super important. But we have tablets, clay tablets, which are letters. So keep in mind, to make a clay tablet, you have to get a piece of fucking clay. You have to get your etching tool. You have to write your shit down and, like, bake it in the sun so it's hard, right? There's an effort in this. There are these clay tablet letters about a merchant called Ea Nasir, who was a bad businessman. We know this because the letters describe him. There's one letter complaining, I tried to buy some copper from you. You said it would be the highest quality. I didn't get good quality copper. I sent my messenger to talk to you. You sent him away. You dismissed him. You dismissed him and you dismissed me, and I'm very upset with you. I will no longer be needing your services. I'm going to get my own fucking copper. That's my abridged version. Like, we have several letters about either this guy or several guys with the same name. And we know he was a bad businessman. He was like a snake oil salesman. He frauded people in ancient Babylonia, and we know this because somebody wrote it in a fucking angry letter, and it lived. And in fact, I'm pretty sure we get most of these letters out of a singular house that was preserved, like, carefully stacked. So it's entirely possible that this guy kept his own fucking angry letters in his house, and that's why we have them.
Oh man, but it's also kind of funny when, like when we find, like, historical sites and interesting things, and we think it's going to be a super important find, and we find out it's not. Like, I can't remember where exactly this location is, but there was some ancient writing really high up on a wall, and when they finally got it translated, it just literally translated into, this is very high.
Oh, yeah. It's like Roman graffiti. Roman graffiti is hilarious, because the Romans were just like us.
They drew dicks on things. They insulted people's mothers. It's like, you think
there's a famous bit of Roman graffiti which is basically translates to Domus Secundus was here. like
you think
Domus
people are like don't act like you think people like are acting like less refined than they did back in the day? No, trust me, we're acting just the same.
Humans
like
don't change.
Humanity at its core has not changed.
An individual person can change. Humans don't change.
No.
My humanities professor told me that. Because, hey, guess what? When you study the humanities, you learn a lot of this shit.
I said I never.
People as a group don't change. Shit. An individual can change. People don't change. That's just how it is. Huh. Like, we do the same dumb shit. We write graffiti. We do dumb shit we shouldn't.
Like, honestly, people like this is here's another of Lucky's personal views. Like, a lot of people like try to say like, oh, humans aren't animals. They aren't beasts. I was like, no, I still kind of think we are, because guess what? We still, like, a lot of us still live by instinct. We layer society on top of that, but honestly, like, we behave like just basically as any other animal kingdom do. We just have higher functions at that.
Society, our social rules are very advanced because we are pretty advanced animals, right? Like, we are. Other species, especially related species to us, are tool users or language users, but they're not building fucking skyscrapers and stuff, okay, right? So we've reached a level that's a little past them.
Yeah.
Though, we should point out, we're talking about the animal thing. Like, dolphins are fucking smart, octopi are fucking terrifyingly smart, all of our primate relatives who, like, use tools and stuff, scary smart. Like,
yeah.
Birds are real terrifying. Like, look up, like, ravens and stuff, corvidae. Some of the shit they can do. No, it's a little spooky.
Yeah.
Lots of animals are real smart. So, just because you own a dog and your dog is an idiot asshole sometimes. That not all animals are dogs, guys. And even then, dog can be pretty fucking smart. Like, your dog doesn't like somebody, the dog probably has a reason for not liking people. There's a reason why the evil detecting dog is like a universal human ideal, because maybe dogs do that. They freak out at shit you can't see and hear.
It's like I try to tell people like yeah, be humble.
That's a good one.
I think like
you should always have honestly, a little bit of humility.
I was like, yeah, it's good to be proud of yourself, but God, remember, you're just another human on this goddamn planet.
And if you think about it, a lot of our a lot of our cultural and our spiritual identity in the West is based on that. What are all the famous Greek stories about? Hubris. A pride in an excessive amount of pride. What's the #1 sin to the Catholic Church and a lot of Christian ideology? Big P pride. That's what got the Lucifer. It's the big pride. Like that is the #1 scariest, worst sin. So there's a reason why these cultural touchstones are there, even if you don't believe in the mythology or mysticism behind them, the spirituality. There's a reason why we culturally decided that, excessive pride's a bad thing, because it gets you burned. This is the same thing as, like, double check your facts, be careful what you say, like, just don't... A lot of time in life, individual humans and human societies have made mistakes by just acting like, oh, we're the ones who are clearly in the right. We're, we talk about, like, imperialism. That's obviously because, oh, well, we're clearly much more advanced, and these people all have all our goddamn tea, so we're just going to knock them over and take the fucking tea because we're more important than they are. Let's trade them opium for tea. That's a good trade, right? Shit like that. That comes from the firm belief that you are in the right and you are superior intellectually, morally, and spiritually to the other people. You're not. All humans come from the same place, right? We all start at the same zone. Like, God knows, I'm pretty sure, like, our DNA is, like... Well, I mean, our DNA is 90% similar to, like, a fruit fly or something, but, like...
I think we're, like, 98% banana.
Something like that, yeah. Like, but, I think no human you meet is more than your 50th cousin, okay? Yeah. I'm pretty sure I read that substantiated somewhere. I'd have to double check, but I believe in that I read that from a reliable source, talking about, like, diversity. No human being you meet is more than your 50th cousin, okay? We are all descended from the same mitochondrial Eve. That is a definite thing we have done, right? We've tracked that back. All your mitochondria started at one person. One woman, specifically.
Somewhere in Africa,
that's what they mean by mitochondrial Eve. So, listen. Every person you meet is your 50th cousin, at least. Lucky, he's at least my 50th cousin.
Hey, we're related.
Treat everybody similar. Okay? When they talk about treat people how you want to be treated, that's
I really don't understand why people can't understand this simple concept. Thing. I really don't.
Empathy is weird. For some reason, empathy is a thing people need to be taught somehow in their development. We need to develop it. And we don't always develop it correctly.
Points to my theory of people are fucking born evil. Not evil because of society, just evil because they don't fucking understand how life works.
I mean, that's a fair assessment. Like, I would phrase that differently. Like I said, I don't think people are...
Yeah.
Criminals are not born, they're made. But one can argue that you're made that way because you didn't pick up how society thinks you should be along the way. So... Like, once again, we said this in the first episode, our viewpoints are not necessarily incompatible. We just phrase them and look at them differently.
Yeah. As I said, because guess what? We're two different people. But, like, fuck.
But at the same time...
Like, it's not that hard a concept. It really isn't. Just treat people how you want to be treated. Yet we still have people who have to hoard everything, hurt others, steal, lie, loot. Like, why? Especially for people like...
a famous quote from Shakespeare, from The Merchant of Venice, which has a lot to do about Jewish-Christian relations, but it involves this, if you prick us, do we not bleed? Which is fucking true. Every single person, this might be a little obvious to me, and also I'm white, so take me with a grain of salt, everybody, but, hey, we're all red on the inside.
Yeah.
And everybody bleeds the same color. Which is very important, because when you're bleeding, that's your life slipping out of you, okay? That's probably the most important, vulnerable part of yourself. You're bleeding, that's bad. That's universally bad. Everybody bleeds the same way. Unless you have some kind of weird disease.
I am a firm believer, I'm not saying, we need to go full-on, communist and everyone's, dead equal, because I also believe in, because I'm a firm believer in noblesse oblige, because that's another thing about human society. You get enough people together, and a leader is going to get elected, one way or another. And
humans are
that's how human society works.
This is kind of an interesting philosophical point that I could wrap around to. Hey, I don't know about you, Lucky, but when you were when I was a teenager, I was a pocket nihilist. Everything is chaos, entropy. The universe is going to die one day. What's the point of everything? Then I came to a realization: one, that's fucking dumb and not productive, people doing their strawman nihilism. And two, the universe is also self-ordering. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so entropy means that no system will get more ordered without putting more energy into it, okay? That's something we've observed.
Yeah.
Shit's still self-ordering. How does metals work? Because the rules of the universe just make those atoms slap together like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How does your body function? Because there's a complex system inside you that is constantly fighting entropy, and that's why you need to eat and stuff, which is trying to order itself.
You need to intake energy.
Society is the same way. Humans are self-ordering. Lots of aspects of the universe are self-ordering. It's not all just destruction and corrosion. Lots of things in our physical universe just snap together, click, and try and form structures. People are the same way.
Like, people always are like, yeah, we need to have an anarchy like society. It's like, no, that's not going to work, because one, anarchy is a transition state. It is not a permanent state. Nothing stays in anarchy, because eventually, as I said, you will eventually form a society from that anarchy. It will probably be a different society from what you had, and will probably be a lot rougher around the edges, because guess what? It's newly formed. But it's still society.
Here's a fun Buddhist fact for you. I believe the technical Buddhist concept of chaos is the transition between order and disorder, or back. So, yeah, it's a very interesting way to think about that. Like, order and disorder are two separate states, and then chaos is the transition between. So that's how society is like. And now I've said that I'm not afraid to admit that I lean more anarchist or minarchist, like, because just because we're self-structuring doesn't mean you have to make dumb structures, okay?
Well, here's the thing,
lots of structures and lots of social structures in our life and social contracts are poorly made, and they exist just because somebody put them there and nobody thinks about it.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
Well, let's see. Here's the thing: in order to build something new, it's often a bad idea to build on top of something. It's better to break it down and rebuild it as something better.
Knock it down and figure out what your problems with the first one were.
Yeah. Like, if you just build problems on top of problems, guess what? You just have bigger problems.
It's like playing Jenga.
Oh.
Which is very fun.
So, yeah, like...
We like board games.
We do.
I love how we were able to seamlessly transition from sociopolitical philosophy and theorizing to, I fucking like Jenga. That's why people listen to this, right? That's why you're here, guys. You want to hear us seamlessly transition between our beliefs on life based on our experiences, which we've said this a lot. This is all based on how we experience and feel about things. We don't have all the answers, but this is what we think based on what we've seen.
Yeah, because...
and then we transition back to fucking Jenga. Or, I don't know if we'll get to it, let's see, because we're at almost an hour 40, and I know there's, like, pizza and wings sitting outside for me at some point for dinner. But I wanted to talk maybe about emulators, because that was a big news story that a big emulator website got shut down. And
Nox?
No, not Nox. Like ROM emulators, like EMU Paradise, I think was it. They got shut down by like Nintendo. Are you
serious?
I think so. One of those big sites got taken down.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
EMU Paradise, I've like known about them from forever. Now I'm like looking up.
It was a big site like them.
It's Emu Paradise.
It is Emu Paradise, yeah. So yeah, no, like... So that was a big question I wanted to ask. I wanted to be like, hey, what are your thoughts on emulators and stuff? Because, quite frankly, some people in possibly the greater video game industry sphere are being assholes about it. Like, and you might not think I'm talking about who I'm talking about, just from the way I say that. I'm talking about people who are like, oh yeah, emulators are piracy. It's real good that website got taken down. No, you're being an asshole.
Okay, so I'm gonna get out my thought before you like ramble on for like another half hour. To me, emulators served an important function for me when guess what? They weren't selling like SNES or Sega games anymore, but they didn't have fucking digital libraries.
Yeah.
Like there's a time like around like the PS2, PS3 era, guess what? They weren't making old games anymore, and there was no way to access them. So if you didn't like, and they weren't like easily available on the market. Either you're paying like overpriced from like on eBay or something because people are like, check this shit out. You can. Yeah. So like, because here's the thing: if you don't physically like distribute something anymore, don't get pissy if someone figures out a way to distribute it for you. Because So, but see, here's the thing. Now, a lot of these companies do have giant digital libraries of all these old games.
And you can get a lot of stuff. Now, we should also say sometimes they don't because, again, licensing and legal stuff is weird. So, like, some shit get just taken off the marketplace. Like, we talked about, was it last week we talked about Scott Pilgrim and the Scott Pilgrim game, which just isn't available anymore?
Yeah. It's like, so, like, I can understand, like as I said, I studied business. Like, that was my thing in college before I dropped out. So, I can understand why these lawsuits are happening because, yes, there are some of these games which, previously were unavailable are now available, and these emulators are potentially taking business. From a legal standpoint,
I can see, like, even if you're not doing it right now, you're protecting a future interest, like, hey, we want to be able to preserve our market share because we own these products, and we have a system where we could definitely bring them back even if we're not doing it right now.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Emu Paradise specifically, I just looked this up, came out in 2000. Year 2000.
Yep.
Like, so this thing has been around for a while, and its conception was definitely in an era when these things were not originally available. So, like, no, like, to me, this is like personal history to me. I have personal experience with this site. I have downloaded emulators and played games off the site. I have played games that were not available in America and were locally translated and put onto this site.
Yeah, it's a classic example. Translated ROMs.
Yeah, translated ROMs. It's like, so, like, that site gave me access, like, especially when a time when I was fucking broke and had no money for video games, to play games, relive, like, games from my childhood that I fucking loved. And so, like, as I said, I'm column A and I'm column B here. I can understand why, but at the same time, this makes me very, very sad.
Yeah, so I think that's the way you should look at it. Like, a lot of, at least I have heard secondhand that a lot of people are jumping to, like, yeah, no, this is a morally right thing to do. No, fuck you. It's a business decision. It's a correct business decision. It's not about moral rectitude, okay? Like,
honestly, like, people
like
try to
cartridge emulators. I mean, people like to phrase stuff like that because. To us, the idea of, like, a moral right and wrong, like a clear black and white, that's very appealing to humans, and you want to feel like, oh, your boy Nintendo, they're on the side of righteousness because you like them. You want to think of them as a righteous entity, not as a business entity making logical, rational business decisions. Now, if you want to argue this is a rational business decision, that's fine. Being rational can be a virtue, too, right? Like, trying to be rational is a human struggle. We're not usually rational. So it can be an ideal you hold. As I said,
remember, emotion is usually what leads to shit going weird or wrong.
Right, because it's not rational. It's a weird, irrational effect which warps your thinking. But like, if you wanna say rationality is a certain virtue you aspire to, that's cool. That's not how people are phrasing it. People are like, "Fuck piracy. You got to support game developers." Okay, genius. If games are on
do you know how many
SNES cartridges or GBA cartridges or Game Boy Color cartridges, and I buy one of those legit off eBay, secondhand, or go to a bin in the back of a GameStop or something, hey, does Nintendo see that money? Do the developers who made that game for Nintendo see that money? Probably fucking not. They already saw the original purchase. Now you're selling me a used product that the original owner doesn't see any of the profit off of. And also, it's a physical, limited resource. It's a thing that exists only because you printed it on a cartridge, and if you can't get it anymore, you're shit out of luck. Now, Nintendo at least has done a decent job with backwards catalog, but I'm pretty sure the Virtual Console's still not on Switch, right?
I don't think so.
No.
I got like 4 games on Switch right now, right?
The NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic, 1, doesn't cover all the games that came out on those consoles, and 2 are limited production runs. They're scarce, right? Because they're a fucking physical product, okay?
Yeah.
That's the thing that happens with physical products, and then you make digital products. And, I mean, hey, I took 2 years, okay, solid, of criminal justice, all right? I understand shit about the law and stuff. Piracy is not theft, all right? Piracy does not resemble crimes we traditionally associate with theft. Larceny, breaking and entering, stuff like that. It's still illegal most places, so it is a crime. It's not theft. Stop treating it like it. It's not like I had to break into your warehouse and remove a physical copy so that doesn't exist anymore. I committed a type of electronic fraud where I illegally copied something you own to distribute. Alright, it's a different sort of thing. And, quite frankly, when you're broke, fuck it, I don't care. I love having money and supporting people when I have money, but everybody's broke at some point. And
Like,
should you not be allowed to enjoy things that people make because you can't support them financially? I don't fucking know. Like, hey, is it wrong if your friend buys 2 movie tickets and you don't pay and go see a movie? Not really. I mean, like somebody's purchasing a product somewhere, and then, okay, they do some stuff that's illegal and they distribute it. Like, we can argue whether or not that's wrong. Like I said, I don't think it's, like, theft, but it is still illegal, so that just is how it is. But,
well, as I said, you are copying someone's work that they're expecting a profit out of. Business-wise, yeah, it's wrong, but still...
It may or may not hurt them. I've seen a lot of statistics back and forth on whether or not piracy actually affects your sales. A lot of the consensus seems to be not really, because most people who pirate weren't going to pay you for your game anyway. There is something to be said about being, like, super open about piracy. Like, if you just fucking leave your warehouse door open, right? Like, it's still wrong that people come in and steal it, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck were you expecting?
Here's the thing, like...
crime is drawn to situations.
Here's the thing, like, me, like, I remember I used to pirate a lot of stuff back in the day. And, like... And to be fair, technically, I still do, because guess what? Online reader mangas, translated stuff, guess what? Like,
yeah,
that stuff is technically pirated, because someone bought a copy of a thing over in Japan, copied it, translated it, and posted it on the internet so everyone else could read it.
But lots of Japanese people don't necessarily care super hard, because they're still selling a product in Japan, and they're not necessarily trying to reach a market in the US all the time. And it's usually the USA licensors who are like, hey, we paid for and engaged in a business relationship to get the legal right to produce this in this market, so you are literally infringing on our business. That's not cool, and it isn't, kind of. Like, I mean, if you're a shitty licensor or distributor, people are probably not going to care because you're being a jerk. Like,
but see, here's the thing. When I have the money, I still buy the product. Like, as I said, like, I'm slowly amassing a collection of light novels that I like.
As a kid, I watched a lot of stuff on TV, which I wasn't paying for. My parents paid for it. But I watched a lot of stuff, like, freely distributed later on, like, certain video platforms. Like, I actually watched a lot of Full Metal Alchemist on Funimation's website because they were doing it for free at the time.
Guess what, people? Things are not black and white.
I still bought those Brotherhood Blu-rays because I fucking love Brotherhood, and they look great in Blu-ray.
Oh my god!
And I had money.
Oh my god! But like here's again, like nothing. Like as I constantly say, nothing is black or white. This is gonna be like the main theme of like most of our discussions is how nothing is black or white. I swear.
Probably once we get into philosophy, like that's what I meant. Like if you're an asshole company who has legal rights to something, nobody cares if they pirate from you because you're a jerk. Like right? That's. Our morality should be a little more strict than that, our legality thinking, but it's not. Humans are not like that. We are not black and white thinkers most of the time, and when we usually we're usually wrong when we take things to that extreme, right? That's usually when we do dumb stuff that's not rational.
Yeah.
So people can be totally okay, like, and companies are totally okay. Do you think Netflix gives a flying funk that they don't release stuff weekly, so people probably pirate the shit out of their exclusive shows? No, they don't care because they're Netflix and they're making shitloads of money. Now, if you obviously pirate their shit, they're gonna come after you because that's just the way copyright and like trademark laws are. Like they're a little weird.
I feel like it's probably because
from a legal standpoint, you have to pursue these situations when they come up in a lot of these cases because that's just how the law is written. If you give precedent. Like, apparently, I think it was McDonald's. We talked about this, like, screwed by the lawyers thing before. With, like,
because, like, here's the thing. Like, if you don't pursue these things, you will lose your copyright or whatever, and it becomes literally free domain.
Here's a story that I'm pretty sure is real. I'm pretty sure this actually happened. I read this from a source. McDonald's didn't do business in South Africa because of apartheid, which we talked about a little bit earlier. There was, like, a lot of, like, government-enforced racial segregation and stuff. It was kind of a fucked-up situation. McDonald's didn't do business in South Africa for a long time. Post-apartheid, they tried to move in. There's a business in there literally called McDonald's, and they lost the civil suit because they did not pursue that there was a not McDonald's company pretending to be a restaurant called McDonald's. I don't think they were like a literal 100% ripoff, but they were definitely using the name in the market space. And they lost the case because they did not pursue for like decades. That's how the law is set up, and I think that's a little fucked up. Right? Like that That the
Yeah,
law
but see,
requires companies to basically be assholes and ambulance chasers, in a sense.
But yeah, that's how law works. Because remember, the law fucks over everybody.
Yes.
Like in some way or fashion. It's like, because that's how law do. The law is big. It has a big stick, and it's gonna shove it up your ass. It's gonna shove it up everyone's ass. It's just how you fucking deal with it afterwards.
And
that's the thing.
Also, legal writing is incredibly complex and hard to change, and that's
God.
why you get so much stupid stuff. Like, why isn't there a law against that specifically? Well, because nobody's updated the law in like 30 years.
There's you
hear a lot about this, like sexual assault crimes or sexual offenses. Because guess what?
Like, if I remember correctly,
the law isn't correct for smartphones, right? The fact that you have a camera in your pocket at all times, the law wasn't written to deal with that.
Yeah,
so technically, it might not be illegal to take upskirt shots with a fucking smartphone. There are some states in the U.S. where it wasn't a crime, and then it became a huge big deal. And it's like, well, we can't actually prosecute this guy on that specifically because that's not a law. Because the law wasn't.
If I remember correctly, this might be hearsay. I don't know. I have not double checked this fact, so don't take it as truth. But I heard until 2011. Technically, a woman could get away with raping a man because the legal term for against the law that is specified sexual assault against a woman. So anything that happened against a man could get thrown out since the law did not cover that.
I don't know about the date, but you are correct. The federal definition of rape or sexual assault was super specific to the penetration of a woman. For the longest time, right? Most places have a corrected definition, which includes a multitude of situations, which most people would think is some form of sexual assault. We've patched that over, but yeah, no. For the longest time, the laws were written very specifically. And
so it's so that's the thing.
If you guys ever want to change them, because the lawmakers don't care.
If you guys want a fun activity, go and look up go look up old laws and wherever you live. I'm pretty sure you'll find some fucking gems.
I have been told this is an anecdote. In Florida, it is illegal to ride an elephant on the street.
In Washington State, it is illegal to ride a bus with a fishbowl, a filled fishbowl.
Because somebody probably rode a bus with a fishbowl and caused a huge problem. They're like, fuck you, we're never doing this again. And then you're like, why the fuck is this here? The elephant thing, we have, I've been to the Ringling Brothers Museum in Florida. We had circuses who would just hang out here and train and stuff before they went on tours. Guess what? They had fucking elephants. Their elephants would go on the street, they'd throw up, or they'd shit or something, or they'd cause just a problem. So now it's illegal to have elephants on the street. Or so
guess what? Remember, when you see a weird ass law, it's because probably one person did something really fucking stupid, and they're like, we need to make sure that this never happens again.
And then 100 years later, you're like, why the fuck is this here? And it will never go away because changing or removing laws is a huge pain in the ass because everything is on paper. It costs money to undo laws, and everybody should know. That's why humans don't like to spend money. We don't like to.
And again, this goes back to the fact of this is why we need a little bit of anarchy because we need to burn everything down and fucking build it.
You need to build a system so that you can in fact go back and okay, we don't need to say that it's illegal to have sex in any other position than missionary with the blinds down, which I think may actually was a law in Florida that about certain forms of sexual intercourse. Not that anybody would ever prosecute that, but yeah, no, maybe that's a bad law. We should take that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So on the subject of emulators and piracy, that's why I'm not harsh on companies that have to proceed this, but like I said, a lot of people are assholes about this situation. You think you equated emulators and ROMs and ROM hacks with you're pirating games that go on Steam or whatever for little indie developers. No, it's not the same fucking thing, right? Those aren't the same. If I want to play fucking Earthbound or whatever, or I want to play Super Mario World, well, if I want to play Super Mario World, I actually own an original SNES with the fucking cart. I can do that. But hey, if my buddy Lucky, who doesn't have that cartridge and doesn't have an SNES lying around, he wants to play Super Mario World, how the fuck is he supposed to do that?
Yeah.
Buy a product that doesn't exist right now because they're all sold out? Yeah. It's so yeah, no, I figured emulators would get us a little spicy. Because I accept that technically what they do is against the law, the written law, and it's perfectly okay for people to be like, hey, no, we need you to stop distributing that because we are doing business here. But at the same time, there's nothing, deeply morally wrong there. Emulators are for old shit, like... And hell, books, public domain is a thing. It hasn't hit yet for lots of video games, they're too new, but the law about copy distribution accepts that after a certain age, the public just owns things. Now, companies like Disney, who have been around for like a fuck ton, are constantly fucking over public use laws in the U.S. because they don't want to lose ownership of their shit, which is fair. But at the same time, they're, like I said, they're really causing a lot of complications for people in the long term just to preserve because they've existed for a long time.
Guess what, guys? Disney is not your happy-go-lucky sunshine. Everyone's happy land. It's really not.
They try to be family friendly as part of their business, but yeah, no, like they're a big fat corporation who owns lots of stuff. They do lots of stuff to keep doing corporate things and making lots of money because that's why businesses.
You see how many child stars they pump out like yearly? It's like a fucking factory.
And they don't care about the music; they're just doing shit. And sometimes it goes bad, and sometimes Disney. Why are so many Disney child stars crazy when they grow up? I wonder. I wonder if maybe there are some unrealistic expectations in their lives. Huh.
Oh, man.
Don't treat entertainment like a factory, kids. It doesn't turn out well.
Nope.
But anyway, lots of books are in the public domain. Shakespeare's work, public domain. I'm pretty sure you can literally go into any park and put on some fucking Shakespeare, and nobody cares because they're fucking old. Classic Greek plays, many classic novels from like the 1800s are public works. Anybody can. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not specifically Dracula, because in some cases, like Bram Stoker's relations might still have control of the rights, but like certain novels of that time period, like I think a lot of Jules Verne stuff's in the public domain. If you wanted to just print your own copy of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you could do it. Most people don't because there's a whole fucking infrastructure in there. But like we accept from a legal standpoint that after a certain amount of time, the company no longer has the right to keep hoarding over their ownership of materials, right? Like, we accept that that's a thing. When exactly that kicks in is a matter to debate. It depends on the country, but that's a thing our law has accepted. So, like, emulators for old shit, fucking whatever. New piracy, like, if you're fucking broke, I'm not gonna pick on you if you pirate stuff. It's still illegal. And yes, if you're an indie developer and you steal from indie developers, you are probably shafting them over a little, but, like, am I gonna...
Like, this goes back to my belief in noblesse oblige. If you have the ability to support something, you should fucking support it.
Yes. But also,
like,
here's another important thing. I believe this is from the Bible, which I'm not well versed on, but let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Listen, you've all done dumb shit in your life.
Yeah.
We've both admitted we do piracy. It would be stupid and hypocritical of us to throw stones.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff people should.
Like, I can look back on it and, like, you know, I'll judge because of it, but like I used to be fucking broke. I've been homeless several times,
and you've talked about it on the show.
Like,
and I would say like if you're super fucking rich and you're like, I don't want to spend a drop of all this money I have because money. Okay, you're being an asshole. We can throw rocks at you.
I'm gonna throw rocks at you,
but we're not in
right
that
now.
situation.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. First law of economics. First law, money that sits in one spot literally does nothing. In order to make money, you have to spend money.
And that's actually true.
And so, like, I see all these, like, 1%ers are just like, I'm just going to keep amassing money. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, God, put it back into the...
Yeah, no. It's... Right, like, that's how you could... Like, okay, so maybe they do it to, like, ease some of the moral compunction in their soul, but, like, lots of big, rich, like, early turn-of-the-century tycoons, they spent a fuck ton on charity before they died because it was... They're getting old. They're not going to spend all their money anywhere else. Why not give it back? I mean, Bill Gates, super rich, gives loads of his money to charity. He actually got less rich in, like, categorical terms because he has so much charity and foundations.
Real talk. I'm going to tell you this because, like, I actually have a kind of a connection to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill and Melinda Gates donated so much money to the schools that all the high schools in my city were rebuilt and redesigned. That's how much money he donated.
And that's like, good, because that's actually improving fucking stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I have complaints about the way the U.S. tax code is written, but I am not quite so crazy that I'm fundamentally against taxation, right?
Because like, taxation is something that's needed.
We're
like,
a huge fucking country.
Like,
it's
the
really
government has to be able to pay people.
Our logistics. But
like the government has to be able to pay people. Like
the government needs to be able to pay for the services you expect out of your government. What exactly services you expect out of your government, you can differ on, but your government needs a source of income.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing,
but
maybe he did like that. And Bill Gates still spends a fuck ton on charity because guess what? All he has is money rolling in. He can sit down in his armchair and make money. Do you know why? Because he fucking spent his money. He like invests it in things. He gives it away so people can have better futures and maybe
arguably
go back
that's
to
what taxation is about, right? It's your government is forcing you to move your money into it so it can move its money into something that ostensibly you want your government to do. We can fight about the minutiae about like your government doesn't necessarily spend your tax money correctly all the time, and different groups of different political leanings have different opinions on how your government should spend your tax money, but fundamentally the concept is the money leaves you and goes to the government, so the government pays for something that you expect out of your government, whether it's 100% what you expect from your government literally for you or collectively or whatever. Let's not get into that. That's a whole philosophical thing.
You take care of the government, so the government will take care of you. The weak supports the strong looks after the weak.
And
fundamentally, that's how it should be. At its fundamental.
And that is a very solid point, and I think that we should say that this is something I believe personally, just my personal experience here again. We should say that more personal. But like I said, I believe in smaller government because I have opinions on large human organizations, not just governmental, but lots of things. You see it with religion, with businesses, with government.
This is something that's been proven.
Large, rigid structures have problems because they develop corruption and all that other bullshit.
And it's very hard to change once it's that large.
Once you make a huge, rigid thing, it's hard to fix without just taking a fucking sledgehammer to it.
And that's why I keep telling. This is why I keep telling people the only way that America is going to change is if there is a literally mass anarchy revolution. Because guess what?
But
it's going to be the same thing every election.
The purpose of a government, it's a social construct, much like the law. These things are made by people and ostensibly should serve people. If stuff isn't serving people, that's bad. That, I think, is philosophically, possibly even morally wrong when you build a governmental structure that does not benefit anybody other than the government itself. It's the same with business, it's the same with religion or any structure. When a system does nothing but support itself, that's bad. That's you've gone wrong somewhere because somebody probably did not build this social structure so it could support itself, right? Like
it's eventually going to collapse.
You don't try and build a perpetual social machine, right? Like nobody starts something just so it can support itself, right?
No.
Like unions. You started unions because American employers used to be really shitty to people and weren't looking out for people, so you got to build it. But now lots of unions exist only to support themselves because they've existed for like 50 years and they want to keep going.
Yeah. Like, some people are like, oh, yeah, I love unions.
There are some collective protections that I think we still need, right? Like, the idea that there's a big collective out there looking out for your back, that's still a little good because corporations can still be a little exploitative, but at the same time, our society and social has just changed. And we just...
it's like, we're no longer in the depression.
The real stuff we do is, the real realist talk is, those companies go do that exploitative stuff somewhere else in some other country that you don't care about. That's the real truth. But our own governmental personal culture has changed enough that they don't try to exploit you in that same way. So some union stuff is dumb because they're a rigid structure.
Honestly, I really feel like, as I said, like I don't like unions. I was put into a union. I got shafted so fucking hard just because I was the fucking new guy. It's like seriously like a bunch of fucking hazing when you join a union. But it's literally an old boys club. Like, literally, the ones who have been there the longest, the hardest, get to make all the fucking decisions. And it doesn't matter if you have a great idea or not, because you're the new guy. Guess what? You're fucking bottom tier. Shut the fuck up and let the big boys talk.
God, that sounds a lot like some other rigid structure in my life that people don't like a lot of. What is it? Is it government? Maybe we're saying something philosophical. Like, but yeah, no, that's our opinions on governments and emulators. We're now at 2 hours.
All right.
Honestly, I hit most of the things on my list. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was just briefly talk about Hanabata, which I am caught up on, and just be like, why is this show so, like, psychologically deep and gripping, and yet also so carefree? Like, especially episode 5, which I hadn't watched when we last recorded our episode, but episode 5 was like, man, this is some serious shit. And then...
I don't know, but, like, this is the one that, like, this is the joys of media, like, personally.
Yeah. Also, apparently, it's based on a manga, and the manga's way more lighthearted. Like, a lot of the concepts are the same, but it doesn't take them as at a serious approach. So the
it might be the It might be the animation, honestly. Animation and
but no, like
actors?
I mean, like how characters react and act in things is a lot more like serious.
Honestly, I'm okay with it being serious.
Which is
like, serious
fine.
Anime is good.
No, it's good. It's just it's a little the OP still weirds me out a little because it's still like happy badminton time, and then you watch, especially like I said, like episode 5, it's like deep philosophical struggles with your abandonment issues and your need to succeed in badminton. Badminton is your life. Pro tip: badminton's not your life, hopefully, and if it is, just be cool about it. Your life doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time.
That's good. That's good.
Arguably, this right now, this is our life. We're not deadly serious about it.
No, really.
I'm just crushing a bottle
I'm gonna
of
tell
water
you
'cause I've talked for
something.
2 hours.
I'm gonna tell you something that my mom, like, I don't have the greatest relationship with my mom. That's gonna be a story for another time. But there's one thing that she has said to me that I have kept close to my heart, and I want to share with all of you. It's all right to be childlike as long as you're not childish. Enjoy your life for what it is. Don't worry about being an adult. Just enjoy life.
That's a very good point. I think that's about where we're going to end on that. Though that made me instantly have a thought. Lucky, you remember when you were a kid, you desperately wanted to be a grown-up?
Mm-hmm.
That really is a childish thing, right? Like, that desire to be more adult and be more mature. That's actually really childish. Because when you're actually an adult...
This was the whole point. I'm going to bring it back. This is the whole point of Fooly Cooly.
Yes, exactly. Because when you're an actual adult, you don't have to... Well, first of all, being an adult and doing adult stuff is a pain in the ass. But,
yeah,
like, real mature individuals don't have to be so insistent on being mature. That's just how life is for you. And
like,
real maturity is being able to relax a little.
Like, I have anime girl figurines. I have manga, light novels. I got a fuck ton of stuffed animals. I have My Little Pony shit. Like, but guess what? I have a car. I pay insurance. I pay taxes. I work 40 hours a week. I have
an adult.
Fucking bills to pay.
You are an adult doing adult things.
But guess what? I still like being a kid. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That, I think, is a good point to end the episode. I'm going to get... Because, also, I'm hungry now for dinner. So, I'm going to go ahead and say, if you like this episode, give it a like. If you have any comments about anything we just said. Because we said some stuff. We haven't really got any pushback comments, but... mostly, I think that's because we do go out of our way to phrase stuff. It's like, hey, this is just our personal experience, and I don't want to like. It's a big deal that people are allowed to have opinions, right? Like, yeah, that's
like I want everyone to have an opinion. I just want to make sure that people know that everyone else can have an opinion too.
Mm-hmm. It's very important. So, like, I think the fact that we're pretty relaxed, even if we have strong beliefs. We haven't caught any pushback stuff, and maybe it's because only like 1/8 of our audience listens to these.
I don't even know. Like, do we actually get how many watch minutes we've seen? Like, if people have actually watched like the full thing?
I can check. I don't know. I don't always religiously check our engagement, but I can look at that. That's a stat. Or actually, you at Connex's the account. You can figure out how to do analytics. You're probably gonna go to bed or something now, though. But yeah, no. Hey, if you're new here, if you happen to be new here and if not already, please consider subscribing. And even if you already subscribed, don't get the bell for notifications. And as we said at the top of the show, along with some other shit, because we don't do formal intros in What's Up, consider supporting us on Patreon because, hey, that helps us treat this more as real life and lets us buy stuff that we want to support. And so on.
Let us be adults, I guess. Something.
Yeah, it's part of our system of being more adult, but also having more fun with our lives. So consider that.
That's the ultimate goal, I think.
Yeah. Listen, just find... If we want to talk about deep philosophical stuff from our mothers, my mother always told me, find a way to live within your means. Like, do something you enjoy doing, and then figure out how to live at that level. Which is what I'm trying to do, guys, right now. I'm trying to do something I enjoy, and also be able to live doing it. And I just hit my pop filter. But we're going to go ahead and round out the episode. We will see you next week. We will see you tomorrow-ish for more Let's Talk FGO. Maybe-ish. I don't know how exactly it's going to come out, but hey.
Oh my god. We have plans. Well, I have plans.
Working on stuff.
I'm going to try and make it work.
Well, Lucky has plans, and I gave a fuckload of assets to Lucky to work with his plans, hopefully.
I don't know how I'm going to make this work, but I'm going to do something.
We'll see. So we're going to let you guys go. And we'll see you next time for more What's Up.